Happy New Year and welcome to 2025 Part 1. I'm not sure if I'm going to make this a Part 2 or Part 3, but this is Part 1 of 2025. So I'm going to cover the start of the year all the way to about Marchish, April. That's where I'm going to be covering, and we have a lot to discuss. I hope you listen to this before December 30th at 5:26 p.m. because I have to say, this is the most powerful, fabulous, wonderful new moon in Capricorn that we could ever imagine. It's been 16 years that Pluto has been transiting Capricorn. And every year when we've had our new moon in Capricorn, which is really our one time of the year, Capricorn is rising to the top of the mountain. Even if you don't, Capricorn is success, it's business, it's money. And so it's a fantastic new moon for manifesting anything having to do with those areas, but other things as well, and depending, of course, where it falls in your birth chart. So, because Capricorn has been shackled by Pluto, Pluto doesn't really like transiting Capricorn, to be honest with you. And it's not been a fun 16 years. Every new moon in Capricorn, when we've been making our manifestations or trying to move forward, Pluto has been there going, nope, nope, mm-mm. And this is the first year Pluto's in Aquarius now, which, by the way, Pluto loves being in Aquarius. And it's just planets are like that. They like transiting some signs more than they like others. It's like people, there's some people we're compatible with and some people that we aren't. Well, Pluto's not so compatible with Pluto and Capricorn kind of bring out the worst in each other. But Pluto in Aquarius is lovely. So this is the first new moon in Capricorn without Pluto. So manifest. Don't wait until the 31st for your New Year's resolutions. Make them on the 30th at 5:26 and grab a big old honkin' sage stick and sage the bejubers out of your house and just have a fantastic new year. So that's the first thing. The other thing I want to mention is the last 2 years, Pluto's been going back and forth between Capricorn, Aquarius, Capricorn, Aquarius. Once we think we're going in one direction, the universe has slapped us into another direction. And we have been building our lives on like shifting sand for the last 2 years. No stability. It's really been, it's done a number on all of us. There's just been no stability for building. Well, now that Pluto is permanently in Aquarius, thank you, universe. Now we have some solid ground to build our future. However, let me say this. Every outer planet is shifting signs. If you can imagine your birth chart, every single outer planet at some point this year is going to go from one sign to another. That's historic. I've gone back into the archives to try to find the last year that this happened, and I can't even find it. So this is an historic event, which means, yeah, it's going to be sort of like that snow globe that's been shaken and all the snow is falling, and it's going to take the first half of the year for us to like get a picture of what this new normal is going to be all about. But the good news is as we're kind of taking our time and been building our new reality, when we build, Pluto's not going to go and knock it down and go back into another planet. We have a new era. Every time Pluto changes signs, that's a new era. Pluto was in Capricorn for 16 years. It's going to be in Aquarius for 25, about 26 years. It's retrograding. So it takes a long time. Most of us in our lifetime have 3 to maybe 4-ish Pluto eras in our lifetime. That's all we get because it's a slow mover. And so we can really take a look at our life and we can separate our lives by the eras that Pluto establishes. And that's another subject. I won't go down that road. But in other words, 2025, even though it's a year of change and it's going to be a year of like a lot of things kind of thrown up in the air, It is a year of the beginning of stability, the beginning of our work, the beginning of building for our new era. Things are changing. So that's the first thing. The other thing is Mars is retrograde. Mars is starting off retrograde in Leo, and it's going to be retrograde in Leo until it goes into Capricorn. And I'm sending everyone the dates, all those important dates. When it goes back into Capricorn, it's going to continue to retrograde until February 23rd. That is another historic long retrograde. Mars is our energy. It's our get up and go. It's what makes us get up in the morning. It inspires us. It's our ego. It's us saying, I have my boundaries. No, I cannot do that. So when Mars is asleep, it's grumpy. Our boundaries kind of dissipate. What would normally take us a day to do takes us a week or a month to do. So when we do plant those seeds on December 30th, do not be surprised if it takes all the way until the corresponding Capricorn full moon in July for these little seedlings to start to bear fruit. Everything's going to take time, but it's a blessing. I want us to really understand we may feel our energy depleted. Things may take more time, but the good news is, if everything's it's almost like driving down a road. And I've had this experience. One time I was in a snowstorm, I was in a blizzard, and I'm going down the road, and the snow was so bad. I actually had to stop my car. I tried to get off. I didn't know where I was. That's a retrograde. We don't know where we are right now. We need to wait till everything clears up and then we can start moving forward. And so instead of sitting in the side of that car and just sitting there and screaming and yelling and being upset, I just tried to relax and breathe. And, I had a little booklet and I read it until the snow started to clear and then I moved forward. That's retrograde energy. Go with the flow. Take that time, take that rest. Stop pushing so hard because that's the message of Mars retrograde. And also keep in mind that once it stations direct on February 23rd, it's going to take all the way until April for it to get back up to its normal speed. So the first half of the year, in other words, it's going to feel slow. It's going to feel depleted. It's going to have that. There's a lot of disequilibrium that's happening the beginning of the year. So, that's just the way it is. That's what we're dealing with. Now, I also want to mention this is something that is going to happen right away. For the last year and a half, almost 2 years, we've had the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra. So we've been going into Aries. That's where our direction, the North Node is our soul direction, our societal direction. So think about this with Pluto in patriarchy, Capricorn, business, success at all costs, and our North Node in Aries, which is, I'm in Aries, but I got to be honest, it's like go, 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 success, got to get that success, got to get going. It's all about me, me, me. That's the energy we've had the last couple of years. And I think we can all, if we reflect on society, realize, yeah, I see that. I see that. And also the other end, the South Node has been in Libra, which has been the we. So it's been the me and the we. And the we at the expense of me sometimes. Now the North and South nodes are leaving Aries and Libra, and they're going into Pisces and Virgo. That happens on January 11th. Oh, this is going to be wonderful. This is just going to be wonderful because the past focus has been on getting ahead, success, go, go, go. And it's going to change to spirituality. It's going to change to healing. It's going to change to health and wellness, mental and physical. It's all going to be about turning within, turning within. There could not be a bigger change than to go from Aries to Pisces. It's huge. The only other huge change I can think of is going from Capricorn to Aquarius, which is what Pluto just did. So when we have this change in our nodes, and we have this change of the North Node into Pisces and the South Node into Virgo, our society is going to start to be focused on healthcare, health and wellness, but taking personal responsibility for our own health and well being. Understand, I mean, we can already see this all over social media. All I'm seeing is, like how, and it's so true, how in our country our foods are contaminated. We have poisons in our food. Our healthcare industry is poisoning us. Big pharma, all of these subjects are huge in the news right now. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next year and a half to 2 years that we have industries popping up right and left, all having to do with health and wellness, mental and physical. It's extremely important. And the emphasis is no longer going to be going to the doctor and having this placebo given to us, this band-aid that's going to just, yeah, you have this here, just take this little pill. It's the emphasis is going to be on true healing, physically and mentally. What's behind it? Like our lifestyle, the food we eat, the way we live our life, the way we connect with each other, and how social media affects our brains and our dopamine. And like these are huge topics that we're going to start to delve into. And I love that. It's a wonderful shift. So that's fantastic. And then I already talked about the new moon in Capricorn. Again, another reminder on the 30th, 5:26 p.m. Manifest, manifest, manifest. It's wonderful. And the nodes are changing. Now, another hugie is this is happening today as I'm making this video. I think it's 4:13 this afternoon. We have Chiron. Chiron has been retrograde in Aries. Chiron is our wounded warrior, our wounded healer. And when Chiron is retrograde, like we all have wounds. We don't get through Earth University without having a wound, everyone. Now, some people's wounds are smaller and they're blessed. Some people have very significant seismic wounds. Some people take lifetime, like different evolutions to heal their wounds. It takes several lifetimes. Some people heal their wound, even though the Chiron is the wound in this life, but it might manifest in different ways. Some people heal it in this lifetime. But when Chiron is retrograde, even if you feel like, okay, I've healed that wound, it's done, I've forgiven myself, I'm great. When Chiron is retrograde, it's kind of like Chiron says, really? You healed it? Really? Let's see. And triggers start happening. Things that have to do with that wound start to reappear in your life. That little PTSD starts to come. So if you have been feeling in the last 5-ish to 6 months, re-triggering of wounds, a certain fragility, a certain vulnerability around those areas, that's why. And when Chiron goes direct in Aries today, that's going to start to dissipate. Thank goodness. That's wonderful. And it may really call attention to it serves us. It's actually been a service for us. Maybe we need to do more healing. Maybe we need to meditate on this more. Maybe we need to pray on this and ask for help from the universe, from God, from our spirit guides, from our guardian angels, our angels. Those we may need to dig deep and heal a little bit more. But with Chiron moving forward in Aries, this is especially powerful for Aries, or if you have your Chiron in Aries, this is going to be a liberating feeling. So all of the stress and pressure we've been feeling for this past month, and it's been a lot, is starting to dissipate. So that is the wonderful, wonderful news. So I love that. Now, 2024 is a completely different animal than 2025. We have officially entered a new era, a new cycle of life. And this year is going to be about clearing the decks. It's going to be about letting go of everything that's holding us back because we are shifting. We've gone from here to here. It's a new direction. Where are you heading in your life? Our true north is now Pisces and Virgo. Look up where that is in your birth chart. Where is Pisces and Virgo in your birth chart? Because where you find Pisces, whatever house that's in, that's your north node moving forward for the next 2 years. That's where the universe is asking you to place your focus. For example, if you're in Aries, Pisces is in your 12th house. So you're being asked, or Aries rising, I should say, it's your rising sign is what's important in this question. So your true north right now for the next 2 years is healing, is everything having to do with 12th house, is healing and dreams and psychic ability and endings and wrapping up a cycle, like really really digging deep. So that's an example for you, but that's what we're really looking at. Just to kind of give some highlights for your rising sign, like this is rising and sun, but I got to say Virgos and Libras, because they're Venus ruled signs, they're going to have some relationship changes. Venus is going to retrograde from March 1st to March 12th, I believe, or maybe it's March 15th. Just look at my dates, but it's at the beginning of March. So when that happens, there's some big relationship changes coming for Virgos and Libras. Scorpios are going to be dedicating their energy to their mental and physical health and well-being and daily habits, sixth house stuff, and they have opportunities for abundance this year. The sign that really has the best over, like the MVP star of the year, is Gemini, because Jupiter is in your sign. So if you're Gemini rising, good for you. I love it. I love it for you. But Jupiter has been retrograde, and that kind of mutes his energy. So if you're a Gemini rising and you're going, huh, I haven't been feeling that lucky, don't worry, wait for it. February is going to be awesome for you. And from February until June 9th, you're going to have Jupiter in your first house. And then on June 9th, it's going to move to your second house of money. The only thing better than having Jupiter in your first house of self is having Jupiter in your house of money. That Jupiter is the planet of good fortune. So that's wonderful. And then at that point, Cancer is going to have Jupiter in its first house. So that's going to be fantastic for Cancer. Cancer risings, June 9th on, Jupiter's in your first house. You're the golden child. So get ready for that. However, just a warning for Cancer risings, the first 2 months are going to be tough. So just, that's just going to be tough. But June, you have Jupiter, and then you have Pluto in your eighth house of money. That's going to be fantastic for you. So don't worry about it. Just kind of get through those first couple of months, breathe through it. There's going to be some challenges, but you're going to be okay. And why I'm saying that is because Mars is going to be retro in your sign. That's and Leos are going to get ready to get rid of that. So Leos are probably feeling right now, but don't worry about it. It's going to go away. Now, Capricorns, you've said goodbye to Pluto, so you're almost like you've come out of your cocoon. You're the butterfly right now. So you have more options for partnerships this year. So that's going to be wonderful. Capricorns, their partnership zone has been suffering lately. It's going to be much better. For Taurus risings, money here, money, money, money. And Uranus has been in your sign for almost 7 years. And so it's moving to Gemini later on this year. And you are going to be so thrilled to get rid of Uranus. Uranus does not like Taurus, and Taurus does not like Uranus, but Uranus loves being in Gemini. So that's going to be another really fortuitous shift for all of us. So, Taurus, your focus is self care, money, abundance, and knowing that it comes from self love and valuing yourself. Now, Aries, now that the North Node is leaving your sign, you do have one more eclipse this spring, but it's the final eclipse and it's just on the cusp, so it's not that powerful for you. And it's going to bring you gifts because it's the final eclipse in your sign. You've been through major change and life will start to become more joy-filled for you. So you have that to look forward to. Leos, improvement in your money and your income in all areas. You've got your second and eighth house are all pinging all over the place. So money's going to get better for you. Now, you do have Pluto in your seventh house of marriage and business partnership. There's going to be some evolutions. It could be upgrades as well. So watch out for that. Really ping into that, like be aware that there could be some relationship issues, power struggles. You might have to dig deep for the next 25 years because that's how long you're going to have this transit. So do know that there's going to be some evolution and change and hopefully upgrades. Hopefully your relationship that you are in, if you are in a relationship right now, you can connect on a deeper level and really elevate your relationship. Virgos and Pisces, transformation, North and South Node. This change is going to lead to upgrades in every area of your life. And Libras have wonderful relationship energy, but they need to let go of the past and move on in every area of their life and focus on themselves now. Because Libras have had the South Node in their sign for a year and a half to 2 years, which means everything that they've had to deal with has had to do with other people, serving other people, and they have transformed. But now's the time for you. Libra, take care of yourself. Sagittarius, home and family changes, starting a family, or perhaps experiencing empty nest syndrome, but buying real estate and emphasis on your career. It's lots of 10th house and 4th house for you. So these are upgrades, changes. Sometimes they might not feel great at first, but eventually you're going to see that whatever is taken out of your life will be replaced with something much, much better, and it's going to be an upgrade. And Aquarians, you need to focus on having fun, my loves. The more fun and joy you experience, the more you can manifest abundance. You now have Pluto in your first house if you're an Aquarius rising. So for the next 25 years, it's a new era, baby. It's a new era. But Pluto likes being in your sign. So it's not going to feel the same as when Pluto was in Capricorn for Capricorns. That was a challenge. For you, you're going to embrace this. Yes, not everything's going to be fantastic. Some things might hurt at first. But again, just like with Sagittarians, everything that is removed from your life is going to be replaced with something so much better for you and for your greater good. And for just spiritual themes for everyone, for your sun and rising, for Aries, self-discovery, taking risks, learning patience, and letting go of that ego. That's a huge one for Aries. Taurus, surrender, embrace change. They don't like that. Oh, every Taurus I've talked to and I've said that, they've all gone, but I'm sorry, deep connections with the self and others and surrendering. That's all eighth house energy. It's really big, but you have to surrender your transformation. Gemini, they are going to love this one. Curiosity and communication, exploring new ideas. Geminis love nothing better than that. So it's happy, happy energy for you. And the same for Cancers. Cancers love to nurture, but they're not really great at nurturing themselves. So it's all about nurturing self-love, Cancers, this year, and some career advancement for you, which is going to feel good. A lot of people feel like Cancers are the homebodies, and they do like their home. They love their home and family. But I'll tell you what, there's no better CEO than a Cancer. Cancers are fantastic. They run their home like it's a business. That's the point of Cancer. And they're very nurturing, but they know how to make things work. Leos, they're not going to, this is going to be a tough one for Leo because they've got that Pluto thing in their seventh house. Humility and finding balance, especially in leadership, but in relationships, finding that balance there. That's going to be the challenge for Virgo. Acceptance of imperfections, but also attention to detail, which you love. So you're being asked to be very detail oriented, but you have to start accepting imperfections from yourself and others. One thing people don't understand about Virgos, they're kind of known as the picky people, the perfectionists of the zodiac, but they only do it because they love, they serve. There is no better partner. I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen and everyone, if you want a perfect partner, Virgos. The only bad, the only bad part is they're picky. So Virgos, you're being asked to cut it out a little bit this year. Like accept those imperfections. Like accept it, breathe into it. And so Libra is setting boundaries now. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Your relationships are going to start to become more harmonious, but you're asked for self-love and boundaries. Say no. Say no. Scorpios, transformation. That's what Scorpio is all about anyway. Personal power and deep introspection. And all my Scorpio risings and suns out there are kind of going, yeah, because that's what they love to do. And Sagittarius, seeking inner wisdom. Again, something you love to do. And philosophical exploration. That's wonderful. Like really, really digging deep and going on that inner adventure, that vision quest that you want to go on. This is a year that you can really do that, even though you have that 10th, fourth house energy, seeking that inner wisdom. Capricorn, goals and stability. Stability, it's really big. Capricorns have been challenged. You've had some challenges the last 16 years. Now you have now you can build your stability. You have Pluto in your second house of money. Fantastic. You can start to build on solid ground finally. Aquarius, community, humanitarian efforts, and for Pisces, really following your dreams this year. You have the North Node in your first house of Pisces, and so yes, digging into your intuition, but follow your dreams and start to reinvent yourself. Reinvention. Now, to give you some important dates, Pluto's already moved into Aquarius, but he's a slow mover, so it's going to take time for that to settle in. Saturn moves to Aries May 25th, but Saturn will retrograde and go back to Pisces later on. I'll have all those dates for you. Neptune is going to move to Aries on March 30th. That's what I'm saying. All of these changes are happening. Uranus moves to Gemini out of Taurus on July 7th. Woohoo! And Jupiter's going to move to Cancer on June 9th. That's just so wonderful. And then we have a lot of eclipses, two in March and two in September. It's a big year with special opportunities. I will say, just as a big heads up, the first half of 2025, all of us personally and globally and nationally, the economic situation is going to be erratic at best. Our money is going to be erratic at best. We're going to have we are in the middle of it already, but financial crises, not just for ourselves, but for our country and for our world. It's going to affect everything. There's an instability that's happening right now. And it's especially because of all of this big planetary change. It takes time for things to settle and right themselves. So the second half of 2025 is going to be much calmer with a gradual recovery. So don't worry, but there's a lot of fluctuation and in the first half. It's erratic. It's erratic at best, like I said, but there's a gradual recovery at the end of the year. And like I said, the change in direction from Aries Libra to Pisces Virgo. All right, this is part one. Happy New Year. Love to all. And I will see you in part two. Bye bye.